Welcome to Downtown Sports. My name is Downtown Stephen Brown, and in today's video, well, if you're a little bit confused as to why I'm bald, you should check out the previous video. Thank you guys again so much for 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. But in today's video, we are going to be simulating the play-in round with the Toronto Maple Leafs versus the Columbus Blue Jackets on NHL 20. And of course, in any experiment, whether that be social or science or one that's just for fun, you have to allow for some error. You have to accept that it's not going to be 100% perfect. So the best way to combat that is to repeat your experiment. That's why we're going to do it 10 times, and then we're going to analyze the results at the end. And of course, I will show you the lines of both teams to kind of give you an insight of what some of the variables might be. So unless I'm doing it wrong, I can't figure a way how to take control of an actual team and change their lines the way that they should be. So this is just going to have to be one of those things that we're going to have to accept as some error, and hopefully repeating the process 10 times kind of weeds it out. But I'm not going to be able to edit the lines here, and I don't have Andreas Janssen here because I don't think that he'll be available to play in this play-in round. Maybe he comes back in the first or the second round if the Maple Leafs do make it there. I mean, it's disappointing that I can't make the line combinations what the line combinations actually are in real life, and I did not edit anyone on the Toronto Maple Leafs, just showing you guys the overall ratings here. Frederik Andersen at an 88 overall might skew this a little bit because, like we talked about previously, the Columbus Blue Jackets should have the edge in goaltending theoretically, because Frederik Andersen has not had a good season at all. Save percentage under 900 at 5-on-5 from like January onwards. So we know that Frederik Andersen has not been good, and he's probably not deserving of that 88 overall rating, but we're going to do it, and we're going to see, and maybe, who knows, maybe I did edit a player on the Columbus Blue Jackets to better reflect their performance this season, and I mean, we'll take a look at that because I didn't think that an 81 overall really did him justice. So, I mean, we're going to take a look at their forward lines here, and yeah, the Toronto Maple Leafs do have a huge advantage when it does come to the forwards here, but the defensive cores on these teams are not even close. Zach Werenski, Seth Jones, Ryan Murray, David Savard, Marcus Nudavera, who's going to be heavily underrated. He's going to be talked about on the broadcast a lot, I can already tell, because he's a player that I maybe wanted the Leafs to target this offseason, or the previous offseason, and they didn't go out and do it. But I did bump up Elvis Merzlikins to an 86 overall because 81 overall for the performance that he had this season. EA Sports does a garbage job at managing their rosters here. I have MLB 19 the show, last year's game, and they have this feature called Roster Vault, where the community can customize their own rosters and just upload it to this cloud or this roster vault, and then anyone could just go and download these custom rosters. And what a lot of people do is, on the older MLB games, is someone will actually create the MLB 20 rosters and upload it for everyone so that the game is just current. And maybe that's why NHL doesn't want to do that, but I would much rather prefer, I know that there's some of you that would probably spend the time to edit the entire NHL as to what their attributes should be, and I mean, I wish that they had that feature in this game. So I'm going to go through the first simulation with you guys just to kind of watch how this is going to go. Okay, so Columbus takes game 1. Am I going to be able to go over and look at the games? I guess not, but it's saying that Kyle Clifford had a goal and an assist in game 1, so you never know. Maybe he's going to earn his keep in the playoffs here. So sim to next game here, and the Toronto Maple Leafs respond here and win game 2 of this series here. Game 3, we're going to have to see how it goes. Toronto wins back-to-back games. Austin Matthews, oh my God, I don't know if he just had that one big game or not, but 5 points in 3 games, 4 goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs here. I mean, Austin Matthews, John Tavares, and Mitch Marner really showing up here in this series. Where's William Nylander here? I already know I'm going to get some comments on there. Oh, Willie's not showing up in the playoffs again. I mean, and he's playing on the top line, too. Does he not have any points? One assist in 3 games. Okay. Willie, I'm looking at you, man. Let's have a big game 4 here and put the dagger in the hearts of the Columbus Blue Jackets in the first simulation here of this video. So we're going to see, okay, Columbus does tie it up here, and it's going to go to a deciding 5th game. Now, a lot of you in the comments section were saying in my previous video that I talked about this series that it's going to be a really close series. It's not just going to be Toronto in 3 or Toronto in 2. Even though it's a joke. Toronto in 5 maybe. So we're going to have to see what happens here in the first simulation. I don't see what happened. So the playoffs have ended. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are victorious in our first simulation here. So just looking over the points, I'm going to see what maybe Willie had a big game. Maybe he did. I mean, we're going to have to look at the performances of the goalies too. Willie did not. Willie did not have. Okay. Who showed up in that game? I wish I could see the scores. This is horrible. Not my video, this game mode. I'm trying here. So the goalies here, Frederik Andersen posting a .922 save percentage of the playoffs. Elvis Merzlikins just could not get it done on the big stage. The rookie faltered here in this first series. The seasoned veteran Frederik Andersen, who showed up tremendous for the Maple Leafs in round 1 against the Boston Bruins the previous season, comes through clutch here and delivers his best 5 games probably in a Maple Leafs uniform this year. Okay, so that was fun, so I am going to do one more of just simulating through here, and we can actually see the games and stuff like that. So, first period of game number 1 ending in a 0-0 tie here, but in the second period, the Leafs are going to come on with a force. Kasperi Kapanen, Ilya Mikheyev, and Austin Matthews potting goals in the second period here. Elvis Merzlikins, again, could not handle the Toronto offense here, and game 1 is going to end with a 3-0 shutout for Frederik Andersen. Now, the shots did favor Columbus here, and that might be something that we might see in these playoffs, because, I mean, maybe the Leafs are going to take a little bit of time to get going here, but Austin Matthews with 2 points in that first game. We saw him come up huge in that series against Boston last year. And I mean, I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the narrative surrounding him in the first Boston series where he shot like 4%, and Austin Matthews is never going to shoot 4% in a playoff series ever again. I think it was 3.7% actually. Patrice Bergeron's number 37, because of course. So first period here, Columbus is going to go up 2-1 here. Toronto allowing their first goals of the series here on 9 shots. 2 goals on 9 shots for the Columbus Blue Jackets. But Marner gets the Leafs on the board here. Second period, Columbus, I mean, they're having a bounce-back game here. William Nylander. Their Leafs are trying here. They're trying, but they do end up getting blown out in game 2 of the series here, 6-2. So now it's 1-1. I mean, I don't really know the home and away situations here in this simulation, but gotta assume that it's going back to Columbus now, I guess, and game 5 would be in Toronto. But Josh Anderson, a lot of people are going to be saying that he might be an X factor here. He's probably going to be back. He was out with a shoulder injury in December, like 4 to 6 months or so. So he's probably going to be back here. He's a big forward for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He scores goals. He might be an X factor in this series. So 0-0 after the first period of game 3, but 2-1 Leafs. Mitch Marner potting 2 goals here, and the shots are favoring Toronto a little bit. Let's see what happens here in the third period. Columbus gets 2 goals and scores in the final minute of the third period. Wow, Oliver Bjorkstrand. I mean, Columbus does have a lot of underrated players, I'm going to be honest with you. Josh Anderson, 5 points, 5 assists in 3 games. Wow, okay. So they're up 2-1 now, and they could put it away. They could put it away. We need a big game from someone in a Maple Leafs uniform here. 1-0, Jake Muzzin, the energy man. When shit's hitting the fan, Jake Muzzin just comes in and answers the bell, it seems, for the Toronto Maple Leafs this season. He's responded in big ways for this team. So it's 1-0 in game 4 of this series here. Toronto's leading 1-0. Columbus is going on the power play here, and it's a 5-minute major. Oh my God, Toronto kills that off. That'd be huge momentum. If I was watching this, Ilya Mikheyev responds. Okay, that'd be a huge momentum shift in this game. And I think, you know what? Toronto's on the power play right now. They could put the dagger. No, they don't do it. Okay. I don't know his first name, but he's supposed to be a decent prospect for them. And the Toronto Maple Leafs close out game 4 here, winning 2-1, sending it to game 5 again. So maybe you guys were right. Maybe this series is going to be a little bit closer than what a lot of people expected it to be. I mean, we could take a look at the point leaders here. I'm not going to simulate all 10 of them like this, but it was fun to do it the first time here. And it's been a little bit of a low scoring series here. I mean, no one really with a lot of goals or a lot of points, but like I said, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win here. We need big performances from Austin Matthews and William Nylander and John Tavares and Mitch Marner. We need those guys to be the X factor here, because I do think that Columbus's goaltending is going to be the difference in this series, especially with the way that Frederik Andersen has played this season. So first period here, Toronto goes up 2-0. Okay, Justin Holl and Zach Hyman. Zach Hyman is another one of those energy guys where shit starts hitting the fan. Zach Hyman steps up and says, you know what, boys, I'm going to take over and I'm going to get this one. 5-0. Kerfoot, Tavares, and Clifford on the board here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Columbus Blue Jackets fans are in disarray. Their cannon has been shattered here, but okay, they're storming back. Is this going to be like, oh my God, okay, I'm a little bit nervous now. If I was watching this game and they scored 2 quick goals in the third period of game 5, I think I would be peeing a little bit. Just to be honest with you guys. But it looks like the Maple Leafs are going to hold down the fort here, and they are going to win 5-2 in game 5 of this series. So far, we've simulated 2 of them, and the Toronto Maple Leafs have won both. I will see you guys after I've completed the final 8 of these, and I will go over and show the individual results in a nice little chart afterwards. Okay, so I put all of the results into a graphic here, and I tried my best to it. I know that there's a lot of words and a lot of stuff on the screen right now, but the overall prevailing thing that happened with the simulation here, doing 10 simulations, is that the Toronto Maple Leafs won 6 out of 10 of those best-of-5 series. So the Columbus Blue Jackets did put up a fight, especially in simulation number 10, where they came back from being down 2-0. And like I talked about in my multiple armchair GMs for the Toronto Maple Leafs next season, which I will link above the screen right now, barring something ridiculously embarrassing like that, or getting swept like they did in simulation 4, if those 2 things were to happen, where if they were to blow a 2-0 series lead or get swept by the Blue Jackets, then we might see bigger change from the Toronto Maple Leafs this offseason. But overall, I mean, it kind of went the way that I expected it to. I expected Toronto to win the majority of the series here. There were 3 sweeps in total, 4 5-game series, and 3 4-game series. Another thing is that Austin Matthews really didn't take control of any of the series here, but also that's because I couldn't edit any of the lines, and he was on the second forward line for the Toronto Maple Leafs here, so we gotta allow for some error. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's not going to be perfect, but overall, I think the simulation did a pretty good job of highlighting both teams' strengths and weaknesses. The best players for these teams in real life really showed up to play in this series. I mean, Austin Matthews didn't take home any of the MVP crowns, and I kind of just went through and handpicked. So Austin Matthews was really good in most of the series here, but Anderson outshined him a couple of times. Riley outshined him a couple of times. I mean, 6 points in 3 games. I mean, come on. 7 points in 4 games for Mitch Marner the one time, but I mean, you also have to consider that he was playing on the second forward line, and I couldn't really control the amount of ice time that he got, and I couldn't really edit the lines. So you have to accept that there is some error in these results, but we repeated it 10 times, so this is the best that we could do. I mean, I wish that NHL 20 was better. Maybe I'll give it a try on Hockey Fanager if I can get that to work on my other computer. Maybe we'll run it through that. I don't know how to use that, though. I picked it up for like 5 minutes, and it was ridiculous. There was so many options and so many different things to do on there. It's like, it really is just like a full-time job almost in the course of the video game. But, I mean, I think that this was good. I think that this is realistic. I think that this is what we could expect from this series. I don't expect a sweep. Those are the outliers from the series, of course. You can't just expect a sweep. I expect a 4 or a 5-game series. The Columbus Blue Jackets, I mean, they have a lot of pesky forwards, and I don't know if I'm too close. Should I move back a little open. They have a lot of pesky forwards that are underrated. Oliver Bjorkstrand, like we saw. Gustav Nyquist, he's a really quick guy who plays on the penalty kill now for some reason. I mean, John Tortorella and him had that conversation at the beginning of the season, I believe, and they were like, why didn't you play on the penalty kill before? And Gustav Nyquist looked at him and he was like, dumb coaches. And if you're looking at the coaches that he had, Mike Babcock was one of them and Jeff Blashill was another. Pierre-Luc Dubois especially was a shining star for the Blue Jackets. He was their MVP most of the time, even when they lost. Elvis Merzlikins played exceptionally well. I bumped his overall up from an 81 to an 86, and he did match Frederik Andersen most of the time. Again, I don't know if having Frederik Andersen at an 88 overall skewed these results because he didn't particularly have the greatest of seasons. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments section here. But I mean, Frederik Andersen was really good for Toronto last year in the playoffs, and I mean, he was getting better. He was looking more and more like himself as the Toronto Maple Leafs were getting healthy, but again, under 900 save percentage at 5-on-5 from January onwards. So that's where I think that these two teams are going to differ the most, is the goaltending here. I mean, Toronto obviously has the edge on the forwards, and Columbus, they should have the edge on the blue line, but it is going to come down to the goaltending here. And if Frederik Andersen's going to play poorly, like he has from January onwards for the most part, yeah, you're going to see something like Simulation 3. But if he shows up to play, I mean, we could get a really, really nice 4 or 5 game series out of this, where two teams, are really kind of butting heads. But the Blue Jackets do play a little bit of a boring style. They do play that chip and chase game because they don't have the firepower up front to really hang with a team like Toronto. So Toronto's got to really, really bring it to them every single night. They got to make sure that their forwards are being aggressive on the forecheck. They got to make sure that Frederik Andersen back there, he's got to play the puck a couple of times. There was a clip that a buddy of mine, Anthony Venna, showed on his Twitter where I believe it was the Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins playing against each other. And on the broadcast, they were talking about controlled entries. And I believe it was the Washington Capitals were dumping the puck in a lot, and I believe it was either Matt Murray or Marc-Andre Fleury back there, or even Tristan Jarry. I don't remember the goaltender, but the goaltender, every time the puck was dumped in, the goaltender was right behind the net ready for it. And if that's the style that the Columbus Blue Jackets are going to play, then the Maple Leafs need to respond by having an aggressive forecheck, by having Frederik Andersen be involved. He's got to be comfortable playing the puck back there. But, I mean, overall, I think that this series is going to be a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Make sure to like the video if you did like it and subscribe for more, because more is always on the way. And guys, remember, the Maple Leafs are going to get past the Blue Jackets. They're going to storm through the Boston Bruins if that happens to be the first seed team. And then they're going to absolutely pile drive the Lightning, and then they'll probably lose in the Eastern Conference Finals. But you know what? At least they did the first 3 things.